Joining me now is the Deputy Executive Director of the Institute of Public Affairs, Daniel Wild. Daniel, let's talk about the Victorian Labor Party. They've been in power for so long, seem so strong, but there's a poll out today in The Age showing that they are no longer heading the Liberals by a wide margin. In fact, they're trailing. This is according to the latest Resolve strategic poll, which shows the Allen government is at 28%, an 11-point decline since Dan Andrews resigned as Premier and Jacinta Allen took over. The coalition sits at 37%. That's a 9-point lead, Dan. If this poll is accurate, then could John Pesutto pull a Stephen Bradbury?
Well, look, I think it's certainly possible the Liberals, Nationals could win. The government is declining and rapidly. And the reason for that is the economic pain that is being inflicted upon Victorians. We know their budget spending has grown at half the rate as the economy, or the economy is half the rate of spending, and that's why debt is going up. Victorians are also, I think, bitterly disappointed at what happened during COVID and the lack of political accountability there. And then it's just becoming a reality that as we see these projects that aren't getting done on time, that are over budget, that businesses are leaving, that the pain is starting to be felt, and that's why the numbers are going down.
And we had Victorians, the majority of them vote no in the race-based referendum, but the state government is pressing ahead with a treaty. And the Herald Sun reports that the Allen government has refused to rule out reparations or giving compulsorily acquired private property to Indigenous groups. Minister for Jobs and Industry, Women and Treaty and First Peoples, Natalie Hutchins, said after 200 years of colonisation, where this state took away lands in the settlement, murdered people and took away culture and language, we're not going to be ruling anything in or out as we go to the negotiation table in regards to treaty. Dan, I wrote about this in today's Herald Sun. This is the sort of undergraduate neo-Marxist rhetoric you'd expect to hear at a student rally, not coming from a senior minister in a state government.
Well, that's right. Victorians don't want this and Victorians don't support this. As you rightly say, they voted no to the Voice. Nationwide, a 60% no vote, including 40% of Labor voters who voted no. A treaty and potential reparations are far worse than what a Voice would have done.
If we had a referendum on treaty, it wouldn't have got 10%, let alone 39% that the constitutional recognition got. So this is incredible, that the arrogance to press ahead and to have the minister say we're not ruling anything out, not even compulsorily acquired private property being handed over.
Yeah, and what the coalition needs to do at state level is to build upon its growing electoral success, or at least in the polls, by muscling up to this weak, divisive Labor government. I believe only Tim Smith spoke out against the treaty at the time. Now they're opposed to it, but it's gone on for too long. And they really need to speak up on behalf of mainstream Victorians who are saying, I'm going backwards and you're going to be giving massive handouts to one group based on race and won't rule out. Compulsory acquisition is extraordinary.
Oh, absolutely. And we've got so many of these neo-Marxist activists in senior roles in state Labor, people who've never worked outside of the union movement or the Labor Party. And I guess it shouldn't be a surprise we're in the sort of debt that we're in this state, record amounts of debt. And Vic Labor are also losing favour with frontline workers. They cheered on so enthusiastically during the record-breaking lockdowns we had here. The state can't afford pay rises demanded by nurses, paramedics, police, teachers and firefighters. Dan, we've got more than 250,000 workers who are effectively at war with the Allen government right now.
Well, look, this is what happens when the economy goes down. You can't pay your bills. And now we're starting to see that. We all knew this day was going to come. We've been saying for years that there will come a point where the Victorian government cannot afford to deliver the services that Victorians need. We are now seeing that, and these are the real-world consequences of fiscal and economic mismanagement. It's not just numbers on a page. It's not just the borrowing costs. We know the interest payments on debt are by far the fastest-growing item of Victorian government spending. That's also true at a federal level, but we're now seeing, as I say, the results of this dramatic economic mismanagement. And look, this is the canary in the coal mine, and it's going to get worse.